All right, welcome everybody. Tracy Repchuk here. I'm very excited to be bringing you the final video webinar for the series that we have just gone through. And if you're just joining us right now, and this is the first one that you've attended, don't worry. At the end, I'll be telling you how to go and watch all four if you want to go through the whole series. And you won't have major gaps going through this one per se, because what I did with the prior ones was go into detail on a very important task element. And here now is the overview. So I went into detail on a couple of options, which I'll go through and highlight again briefly. And here, though, is the overview. What are the kind of key elements that you need to do to kind of reach millions with your message? And we're going to be going, as I said in the promo, through the core four. All right. So today's topic is how to reach millions with your message. There is a download for anyone who's interested in printing that out and filling it in as we go along. If you don't get a chance to do that, no big deal. You'll be able to either watch the replay, grab it later. On the replay page, I will have the handout there for you. And at the end of this webinar, I'll actually be going through all of the fill in the blanks so that you have a full page as you're going along. So we are now going to talk about kind of the final and ultimate goal that you will have when it comes to your business, which now that you've got everything in place per se, how do you reach millions with your message? So this is something that I consistently do. I average impacting over 20 million people a year. And so I'm going to go through the core four that I do with that and some additional elements that are involved. And if you see that link down at the bottom that says quantumleapproducts.com/guides/m2m webinar handout.pdf, that is a place where you can quickly grab the handout. And I did put it in the question box. So if you go through the question box, there is a link there as well. So the bottom line that has occurred, of course, when it comes to your business is the complete overwhelm caused by, technology and, more importantly, things like social media. Uh, it's the double-edged sword, quite frankly, because with all of this overwhelm that you're experiencing, is the ability now to reach millions in minutes. Never before in history did we have that opportunity and ability to do that, which means now we can truly make global impact, and we can truly get our message out on the scale that you need to in order to really achieve, quite frankly, what each of you have been, put on earth here to achieve, and that is to get your message out the door. And one of the interesting things that, somebody like myself now who's been in business for 31 years, I started my software company in 1985 at the age of 19. And it's been an incredible journey to see, because there wasn't social media, obviously, when I started my business. There wasn't social media, until 1990s. And so it's an incredible transition that, someone like myself has had to go through, the constant evolution. And now where you are as a business owner, especially if you're new, the evolution is like rapid fire, because, you're introduced to a new social media, new social media, new social media, and you're like, well, where does this all work and play into my business? And so we're going to be going through that. The bottom line, though, is what do you really want, right? The thing that most need is more leads, more reach, more engagement, more sales, more impact. And the reason for it is for the support of self and family. so that you can fulfill your mission, vision, and passion. This is the entire kind of elements of what I've been going through and what I'm going to very importantly touch on today as an overview now from the entire series. So, how do you reach millions with your message? We're going to talk today about how to play a bigger game, how do you attract your ideal client, be prepared, reach millions, and then how do you get started? How do you launch this entire vision? I hope you're as excited as I am. Okay, so the first step in all of this, is play a bigger game. So what I mean by that is often we'll be coasting along or playing too small. Your vision is big, but the way you're operating your business is really small. And because that gap is so wide, it's going to take a couple of steps, in fact, to move you out of the way that you're currently operating. You see, where you are right now in your business is as far as you can take it. It usually at this point needs help, guidance, assistance, mentors, all of these things, and in particular, information that is exacting kind of to what you need to do. This webinar and series and what I focus on is designed for you if you have a message that the world needs to know. And more importantly, you want to unlock the secrets to making money doing what you love. I think that's one of the key elements that I transitioned to 12 years ago now. And that was going from the business model that I had to being able to do what I love. And not only do what I love, if you've gone through my history at all, it's being able to revolve it around my exact scene, which was putting the family first and being able to do all of this. It's been an absolute dream scenario that I want to take you through as well. Here is, if you've got your sheet, we are now beginning. Often, if you see some blue text, that's going to be a little bit of a signal to you that that is part of the blue sheet. So the sheet there says 5 steps to reach millions with your message. Step 1 says play a bigger game, and it says you must be outside of your blank blank. The answer to this is comfort zone. So more often than not, the reason that you aren't progressing as quickly as you want to be or achieving your dreams is because you're still operating inside your comfort zone. And quite frankly, your comfort zone is not that comfortable. And how do I know? Because if you're struggling, if you are having financial issues, money issues, you want to do something, but you can't, that is in fact your comfort zone, and this is what the comfort zone actually operates as. And the ideal place to be to constantly achieve, move forward, be successful, and you'll talk to anybody who has achieved any of these, is to live outside of a comfort zone. I am constantly uncomfortable. But the beautiful part about being, I'll call uncomfortable, which means you're free falling all the time. You're taking risks. You're doing whatever it takes to make your dreams come true, including, in many cases, you're putting things on credit cards. You're leveraging your doing something that is a risk. The reason I have been in business for 31 years has been a series of constant risk and living outside of the comfort zone. Once you have understood that the comfort zone is nothing but a trap, okay, and that you are going to have to live in a state of what I call almost free fall. And that is, you have let go of the rung and you're hoping that that other rung, like if you saw in the trapeze scenario there, you're hoping that that other rung comes forward and grabs you. I can tell you that it will. And the faster you move forward, the faster that rung will arrive. And if you ever feel like you're moving backwards, the reason is you're still holding on to the rung when the other rung arrived. And so what happens naturally in that scenario is you'll swing backwards if you do not grab that rung that's in front of you. Now, that rung that's in front of you is going to cost you either time or money or risk or something. Um, because, kind of the ability to move forward often doesn't come for free. It does come with a price. And so it's a question of what are you willing to do to make it happen. Now, the next step is how do you automatically attract your ideal client? Because this is, quite frankly, the first step that you need to do. It is the step that most people skip when it comes to setting up and establishing their business. And it has never been more important now to understand who that person is. And this is the number one strategy that gets skips that is costing you big time type of thing. And that is know your target market. And again, you'll see if you're following along in the sheet, it says to know your target market. This is incredibly important now simply because of the nature of online marketing. All right. So what do I mean by that? I mean that in many cases, if you want to be found online, you need to depend on the god of Google. And in order for Google to notice you at all, you need to be working with keywords to do search engine optimization. And in order to understand what the keywords are that you should be using, you have to know who your target market is, because you can't know what are their pain points, what are they seeking, what do they want, and any of these things unless you've first identified them. If you don't identify whether kind of it's a man or a woman, you won't know how to put your languaging together in a blog post, an article, your website in particular, which is critical to being found and heard by Google, is the words that you use there. And more importantly, because the words on your sites are so important, and in your emails that you send out and any promo that you're putting together, if the colors are wrong, it will repel your target audience. If the wording is wrong, it could either repel your target audience or not engage them in a way that they must be engaged. They must be communicated to. They must connect to what it is that you're saying. If you are speaking in a whitewashed, generic way, hoping to straddle the fence and gather any kind of client or prospect that you can, you'll get nobody. And that's why if you've heard kind of the riches are in the niches, the tighter and smaller you make your pond in your market, the more powerful you become. And that is the way it happens. It also makes it far easier to find your target market when you know who they are. So you know, what meetup group are they hanging in? Where are they on social media? All of these elements play into a critical role. Once you have identified and understood who they are, now you can start to create and develop a brand that will target market them. And so if we take a look at somebody like Richard Branson, he is a philanthropist, a visionary. He is, loose with the ladies. He's virgin. And yet, if we also look at his brand, he worked hard, really hard in the beginning years. He is, incredible at a business acumen. He knows how to pull people around him. He knows where to invest. If you have studied his history at all, you will see how he became a billionaire and in the position that he is in. Came through sequences of steps, came through living outside of his comfort zone, and came through self-investment. If we take a look at someone like Oprah Winfrey, she was one of the first women to talk about spirituality in the daytime. And the fact that, you are more than a body, you are a deeper being. And so it opened up communication about topics that were so wide ranging now that they were impacting and speaking to society. It wasn't a whitewash show. That's how she made her mark. And she became a philanthropist, and she became somebody who had such great impact. She has the golden touch. When Oprah would put you on her show, you had a book, you were a New York Times bestselling author instantly based on her mentioning that book. And so these people have orchestrated their brands based on what they want to be known for. Okay. Again, and I've been talking about Donald Trump now for the last 15 years. And of course, never more important is his branding right now in his life. And the man is a genius marketer. He has, love him or hate him, he has, bottled water to buildings. He has literally franchised his name. That's how deeply he understood personal branding to be. Um, and now, of course, I was saying way back when he started in the presidential election that he was using it as a authority status branding issue, because at that time, he could have said, "Hey, I was a presidential elect, a presidential nominee." There is such a small percentage of the population that can say that. That was a brand raise at that time, and I'm not sure he thought he would ever get this far. But lo and behold, here he is now as one of the two finals, and possibly going to be president. So he has orchestrated his brand, and many times maybe not well. I mean, we've all heard what he says. But the bottom line is it's gotten him to where he is at this moment in time, simply because he's constantly putting awareness on it. So it's really important that you start to align yourself with what you want to be known for, and then come up with, what is in your brand that will speak to your target market. If you don't do this, two things happen. One is you end up swimming in the sea of sameness. So that means your rates that you can charge become low. You can barely sustain your own business because you are whitewash noise in the industry. Nobody understands what it is that you do. You barely understand what it is that you do, and you definitely cannot communicate it. When you can't communicate clearly in a few words what it is that you do for somebody, that's when you need brand development. And historically, people didn't brand themselves. It all was about large companies doing the branding because television was the medium that needed to be utilized. Well, now that's not the case anymore. Internet online marketing has created this level playing field, and to the point where if you're not branded, if you're not identifying yourself as what's unique about you, then you're not getting found, seen, or heard. Okay, it's really going to come down to that. So this is another critical step that many people are floundering with, because if prospects don't get what makes you special, you're going to end up in a situation where you aren't understood at all. And then, of course, that amazing service or product that you have is not going to end up getting known, seen, heard, right? So if you're again following on the form, we're at the you must know your unique selling proposition. So the 3 lines there are for unique selling proposition. Again, I tried to put stuff in blue that would help you out. Because when you attempt to be known for everything, you don't become known for anything, is what starts to happen. So your unique selling proposition is what sets you and your business apart. And one of the samples I love to use is the genius of the M&Ms. So, not only do they have this, catchy mascoty logo type of element, I'm very big into, kind of the logo development as part of your brand because of the colors and the words and the tagline integration so that in one glance, somebody can instantly know what you do. But in this situation, they came up with a genius tagline. If you know it, put it up in the question box. What is the tagline of M&Ms? Here's why it was so genius. They have ended up building 6-story empires in Las Vegas, in Tokyo, in France, in Dubai, in New York, in all of these major metropolitan areas. Their candy has created a $1 million empire as part of another brand. It's one of the sub brands, but the amazing thing is simply by saying the milk chocolate that melts in your mouth, not in your hands. So they made a statement. It's kind of like Avis, we're number two, we try harder. Or FedEx, when it absolutely positively has to get there overnight. Even though that one is incredibly long, unlike Nike, just do it. Um, it embeds almost a ability for you to connect the two to a way that precipitates an action. That's what you're looking for. So in this situation, moms like the concept that this was not going to melt in your hands. Because unlike their competition at that time, which was Smarties, which is now almost completely obliterated off the planet as a candy, even though it is the better candy, that made it kind of their competitive advantage, was the ability to come up with a unique selling proposition. Whereas Smarties' demise was they did nothing. If they'd have, and if you've ever had Smarties, they bleed in your hands like crazy. But the fun part about it is, as a kid, if they'd have made this like a war paint kind of concept, right? Where you can take the red and put it on your lips, and the blues and the greens, and you put it on your face, and in one quick wipe, moms can get it off. If they'd have gone with something fun, a counter to what M&M's did, I think they would have been the dominant candy, period. Simply because a child going into a store is going to want the war paint candy, not this other candy. And so by not branding themselves, by not setting up a unique selling proposition, you know them as nothing but Smarties. This is a candy that's almost gone into oblivion. That is what's going to happen to your business if you do not properly take a good look at why you. All right. So the next element, step 3, is to be prepared. So what I do with a client when they first come in is we take a look at what it is do you want? What are you preparing for? When we know what you're preparing for, that allows us to create the blueprint and the path so that you can make a quantum leap. All right. The faster you move towards something in a straighter line, the more money follows, because money loves speed. And so I like to create what I call the Oprah moment for a client. What are we working towards? What's that Oprah moment you want? And then we start to create the blueprint, the website, the logo, the branding, everything that culminates towards attracting that a kind of Oprah moment and allowing us to create the steps to move towards that. Now, obviously, everybody has a different Oprah moment. For some people, it might be to have gotten on Oprah or to get on Oprah or Super Soul Sunday, or it might be to speak on a really large stage. It might be to be on a particular TV show like Good Morning America or something, or it might be to have your own TV show. It might be that your product or your message is distributed worldwide. Whatever that is, it takes a very specific plan and strategy to establish, and of course for you to follow to be able to get there. And what happens as a solopreneur or small business is not only do you not build that plan, but you're so embedded in the work now, get something done mode, that you don't have any forward vision that you're working towards. And that, of course, results in massive struggle and in your inability to arrive at a destination because you've not established what that is. So that's one of the things that I really work with clients, to make sure that you understand where you're going, and then we map out how you're going to get there. And so one of the questions I want you to ask yourself and just put down as a side jot note for later for yourself is, what is your Oprah moment? What do you want? So that you can at least start to identify where it is that you're going and then create the steps to get there. Now, one of my clients, Jim Meskimen, one of his Oprah moments was to get on America's Got Talent, which he did. And so week after week, he made it all the way to the semifinals, over 15 million viewers every single episode. So here's what I mean, though, is when you have not prepared for your Oprah moment and it arrives, now what, right? So in this case, actually with Jim, he lost this particular Oprah moment because he did not have a website that was built. He did not have his social media aligned. And of course, with America's Got Talent, they are willing to announce your social media, Twitter handle, and things of that nature. Well, none of that occurred. So there was millions and millions and millions of viewers that other contestants were not only capturing, but leveraging in their create relationship cycle. And of course, those are the types of people that end up winning, is the ones that are utilizing social media properly. And so Jim came to me after that and said, hey, we need to leverage it now. And that's what you can do. You can leverage a missed opportunity, a missed Oprah moment, so that we can create and set you up for the next one. Well, in the case of Jim, I labeled him or branded him as America's funniest motivational speaker and impressionist. Here's one of the things: what you don't know, you don't know. And in Jim's case, he had no idea. He was already a successful actor, been on probably over 150 national commercials, been in movies such as, Apollo 13, The Grinch. His mom is Marion Ross. You might know her as the mom from Happy Days. So, best buds with Ron Howard. He has established himself clearly in the acting and voiceover industry. He's for Fox and not Fox, Nickelodeon, Disney, things of that nature, Warner Brothers. Tons of voiceovers in that area. But what he didn't know is he could be a speaker. Well, he is a hilarious comedian and impressionist, which means, he can do the Jack Nicholson and the George Clooney's and the Woody Allens and all of these amazing people. Well, that makes him a prime candidate for opening conventions and being a keynote speaker at major places. So the one thing we did to, start to leverage that opportunity was, of course, to promote him as somebody who's been on America's Got Talent, somebody who's reached millions of people, who got as far as the semifinals, who's been on all of this TV, so that it made him a clear choice when we set up his speaker site. And we said, hey, you can book Jim as a speaker. Well, within weeks of setting him up as a speaker, I think it was about 6 weeks, he had booked 30 speaking engagements. So that's what I mean by what you don't know, you don't know. And you can't read the label from inside the jar. It's very difficult to know what your next best move is, simply because you've moved yourself as far as you can, in the capacity and knowledge and understanding that you have. And then, of course, we started to backtrack, the old episodes and promote them. And he got picked up for 2 more shows, and he's now got over 15,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. And so he is getting there. The next year, we had launched that. That was within 6 weeks. Once we had hit the new year, he was already completely booked as a speaker for the entire 2016, and that was as of January. And so, again, a very good example of, um, making sure that you are branded and appealing to the market that you're best suited for, that has the money to pay you. And then again, Jim just went on to, there's his picture with his mom. There's him on America's Got Talent. You can go and YouTube that and find his episodes. And him just talking about his involvement with me, and how it truly changed. I really made 3 of his dreams come true during that time, which is what I try to do for my clients. Now, as part of Be Prepared, which is mean understanding what your Oprah moment is so we can map our way towards it, you'll see on your chart again that it says your website needs to, the answer is professionally match. Okay. So here's what I mean by that. I will go to an event, and I'll meet somebody and they'll be amazing, and I'm super impressed, and I'm like, oh, I can refer you, I can recommend you to a speaking engagement, oh, I have a client that needs you, whatever it is, right? I'm excited about this person. But here's what's going to happen, no question. I will then go back and do 2 things. One is Google them, and the second is check out their websites, because the impression that my referral is going to have is not from meeting this person, it's from what they're about to see on the website, because they're going to go check that out. And so in this situation, if your website does not professionally match, so you don't look as good online as you do off, then that's costing you time, it's costing you money, it's costing you referrals, speaking engagements, anything that you're looking for, it could be costing you. So here's just a couple of examples of people that I got involved with and their websites when I got there. And, these are people that are incredibly successful. They are corporate leaders. They're the number one, in this case, like dry cleaning place um, in the Hollywood, Los Angeles area. And then in the other situation, this guy was going bankrupt. And he was going bankrupt because the industry had changed and he didn't understand how to change with it. He'd been in the photography business for 25 years. He didn't understand how to change with it in an online capacity. So everything about his website was not attracting his target audience. And so week after week, month after month, he wasn't getting booked. His competition was, and he was on the verge of bankruptcy. You only have 3 seconds to make that first impression, and you don't want that first impression to be this one. So if your websites aren't working for you, they're working against you. And a good example I like to use is Drew Hunthausen, amazing motivational and transformational speaker. You wouldn't know it by this website, though. And here's why: when you meet Drew, you want to book him. He is blind and almost totally deaf. And his topic and passion is attitude, gratitude, and no excuses. And so we've now marketed him as the no excuses blind guy. So when you now start to reframe and look the quality again, the professional match, now it's easy for you to move on to that next level because you have clarity. Now we've made it very clear that Drew is a speaker and an author, and here's what you can do with him. But having the perfect website, and once we've got all that down, we've got the colors down, things of that nature, the issue is it's only half the strategy. It's very important to be doing this. And in fact, I start my clients on this before I start them on the master site. And that is list building. So you will see again on your page, it says you must be list building. The LB is list building. And the reason is you need to take those millions of people that are out there and pull them into your own community. You need to create your own tribe of people that know you, like you, trust you, and ultimately buy from you. And it's important to do that because you can't kind of affect the entire internet at once. You need to pull in and rally a group of people that turn around and also go out as part of your eager army, and say, oh my goodness, this person's awesome. And they refer you and they talk about you. I mean, quite frankly, one of my greatest advocates who I adore is Susie Nelson. She's an example of somebody like this who continuously will turn around and advise others that they should be involved with you. Those are the type of people that you need in your life. And it starts by pulling them into a list and list building. The other reason you need to be list building is that's where you are going to, if you've ever heard the term make money while you sleep, it happens through the automated sequences that you can set up in that scenario. So you need that one-page website called a landing page, and it does one thing: ask for your name and email address in exchange for some sort of gift of some sort. And so here's an example. Here's the LP. So you must be list building with a landing page. And again, landing page is just one page website. It does nothing else but ask for name and email address. If somebody doesn't want to give you that, fine. They're not your target market. They're not your prospect. Don't worry about that you're shutting the gate. This isn't about that. This is about getting the people that resonate cleanly and clearly with your message and you, so that you can not waste your time on a whole bunch of people that don't care about you, that aren't listening to you, and that are wasting your time. Because time is the one resource that you can't get back. And this is your way of really pulling those people in tightly, so that you can properly communicate. And there's the important part, is the claim your gift in exchange for name and email address, so that you can start to now create a relationship, because the average sale takes 7 touch points. This allows you to do that, to create that scenario. Now, step 4, you'll see on your sheet, it says reach millions with your message, 4 key elements. The 4 key elements are online, okay? That means internet, web, and social media. That's one of the key elements. So we've taken a look at that. The fact that it's important you speak to your target market, you color coordinate, you create a message, you create a unique selling proposition, you clearly define your brand, and you appeal to your target market. All right, that's step 1. The second element that you can use is a book. That helps you to raise credibility. The third element you can do is to speak. That raises your authority. Okay, and then ultimately, the fourth element you can integrate is TV. And that's where you can, quite frankly, be of a celebrity status. You might not be like a celebrity known to millions, but when you are in your niche, in your marketplace, and they are looking at Reiki Practitioner 1 and Reiki Practitioner 2, and Reiki Practitioner 1 has tons of TV appearances, they're going to go with that one simply because the celebrity authority and credibility has been so clearly established. So this is the pattern that I used to begin with. Okay, so the first thing, one of the first things that I did was become a best-selling author. Now, this does not have to be in your own book. Again, I am a very big promoter of composite books, or a book where you can be included with somebody else. I have one of those that I do every single year. You can check that out at quantumleapauthor.com. That's because sometimes becoming or writing your own book is too time consuming. But the status of being a best-selling author and having a book is very appealing to speaking bookers, to TV agents, and to prospects. So my journey, though, began with a self-published book called 31 Days to Millionaire Marketing Miracles. I published that in 2007. I launched it to #1 on Amazon. It became the game changer for me. I had so many people contacting me after that, that is how I uh, got six figures in the first few months of me starting my business. But the important element for me as a best-selling author was once I'd gained that credibility and became that, my next goal was to be picked up by a publishing house. And I wouldn't necessarily make this your goal. There's pros and cons to this. I had already done what I needed to with my book. And now I wanted the next step, which is to be recognized kind of on a whole different level. This helped me to raise my authority and credibility again. And so I got picked up by Wiley Publishing. They bought the rights to the books. They relaunched it under their own brand. And at that moment, I went #1 internationally in the US, Canada, and the UK, all in the same day. So again, that became another level for me. And this is why, elements of a book are so powerful. Now I have over 160 Amazon testimonials, and my book stayed at the top 3% of Amazon for over 4 years, which is why, again, Wiley became so interested in the book. So there are strategies that I was employing to make this Oprah moment for me. This was one of my Oprah moments, a reality. That's why it's important to know them, because had I not known my moment was to become picked up by Wiley, that's who I wanted, I would have actually sold a lot of the ebook version of it, but I didn't. Even though in the heydays of when this was released, I was getting $97 for the ebook version with a workbook, versus, whatever, $20 for the book. So I could have made way more money, but I didn't, because my strategy was to stay on the top of Amazon and make people buy the physical book. Because there wasn't even Kindle back then, was to buy the physical books so that I would get the attention of Wiley, which is exactly what happened. So that's why it's important to understand. Now, when I launched this book, though, and I mentioned it became the game changer for me, and I made six figures in my first few months because everybody asked, can you coach me through the book? And the answer was yes. And so I started a coaching program called Entrepreneur in Overdrive. It was $10,000, and all I did was walk people through the book. And then I would review their work that they would produce. And so because of that, I had actually gotten picked up by the World Internet Summit and won New Internet Marketing Success of the Year, which I'll tell you about in a minute. The other part, of course, of the online marketing is your social media. Not just understanding where you should be. And you'll remember now, for those of you who've been through the entire series, and for those of you who want to go back, this is a great framework for you. The first webinar I did was on social media with particular focus on Facebook Live. And so the Facebook Live concept was to produce content in a very large way, okay? So you can do a 30-minute video and boom, you have easy content. And then, of course, in video 2, I talked about the landing page, the entire structure of how do you put together that lead gen, list building, marketing funnel system on autopilot for yourself. And then with particular focus, again, of when you're doing your social media, don't forget everything needs to be pushing towards the landing page. People don't automatically, magically show up at the landing page. It's your job to get them there. And then, of course, it's your job to understand who your target market is so that you know which social media platform you should be focused on. And then in video number 3, I focused on how do you take that content from something such as a Facebook Live video and create hundreds of pieces from it, and literally take a 30-minute video and create 30 days of content. That was video 3. Now we're at how do you take all of that you're doing and reach millions with it. So when I launched the book and got recognized by the World Internet Summit, they awarded me New Internet Marketing Success of the Year. That meant they flew me, all expenses paid, from California to Singapore to appear on my very first stage in front of 3,400 people. That launched a speaking career that I could only dream of. I got picked up by the World Internet Summit circuit at that time. I got picked up by Success Resources, which was running T. Harv Eker and Anthony Robbins. And I literally traveled around the world speaking as an authority on internet marketing. And that led me to now actually speak in over 39 countries, with my recent one to China, where I was the keynote for the Global Leaders Economic Summit, which was a invitation-only event for presidents, heads of states, and major CEOs. And so that's kind of taken the evolution of part of my journey. So I've had every single speaking scenario and all the different publishing scenarios. So it's 2 markets that I so thoroughly understand that many people want to penetrate. I've won awards for almost every endeavor, and including awards from President Obama and the White House and Senate and Assembly. And then I turned my hat to television. And now I've spoken to over 20 million people, or impacted over 20 million people through my TV appearances in 1 year alone. And I bring this up because this is the 4 key elements: the online, the book, the speaking, and the TV and the media. I have such thorough and in-depth knowledge on how to master each of those that I wanted to make sure that I could pass that on to you as well. Here, I only have the time to pass on the understanding that you need to be on these, and you need to be thoroughly prepared. To get on TV, you need to master a 2-minute conversation. And so therefore, if you don't have your message clearly defined, how can you master something in 2 minutes that is going to take a fundamental step prior to that? So there's an evolutionary step-by-step process that must occur in order to prepare you for a moment like this. And that's the journey that I have taken myself and thousands of clients through, and that I want to show you. I then took the TV concept and created my own station online. And really just then I do my own shows on YouTube, and I get the leverage and power from those, and then I get sponsors and interviews with other people, and they pay for the exposure. So that's kind of the model that I've migrated to get you a feel for where you can move it to if you want to make it simpler for yourself. This year, which is really exciting, in December and January, every single American Airlines flight is going to be airing a 2-minute interview with me, and that's going to impact over 24 million people. And again, it's just about raising credibility and profiling yourself in situations that will benefit you. So again, here's the 4 things. It's online, which is internet, social media, web. It's a book. It's speaking to raise your authority. Book raises credibility. And TV and media allows you in your niche, in your marketplace, to become a celebrity. It is the combination of these four that have opened up doors like China, opened up scenarios where I am now advising CEOs, opening up situations where I've become co-CEOs in other corporations as a personal advisor. It allows you, the progression of those things, to move from the sea of sameness to become a specialist, to become an expert, to become an authority. All right, so are you ready to get started? I hope you are. Put some yeses in the back end area. And Dave, if you can be taking a look at that, let me know if there's yeses or people that are eager to really find out how do you put this all together. Because I'm going to be talking about a system that I've created that gives you, and you'll notice that's step 5, okay? Launch your vision. It's the 12 core steps to master your business. And take it to kind of the next level. And it's an incredible journey that I spent 5 years doing, and then now am in turn after taking clients through it, have now released it into this system, and to help you become brand new. All right, so it's time to see yourself playing a bigger game, and I hope you're ready for it. I hope you're ready to grab that next rung.
Yeah, there's lots of people right now that
Oh,
are eager to see this next run.
okay, excellent. Here it is, and I promise you will not fall when you grab it. Okay, that's something I can tell you is there's a lovely big safety net under here for you. So putting it all together, putting all of these elements that you need all together is quite a feat. It's a feat for yourself because you don't have the core knowledge on each and every element. You don't have the experience on each and every element. Everything that I'm about to show you, I have mastered thoroughly. And if you take a look at even this chart, this is just one of the charts of one of the steps. And yet this is, I flow chart everything, I diagram it, I test it, I integrate it, and then I educate on you with it. But more importantly, what I do is I take it from a complex thing to boil it down to ABC so that they are easy to follow steps so that you're not constantly getting confused. And then I spent 5 years building it, in the last 3 years testing it with multiple clients. So this allows you to work on your business, all right? It allows you to stay focused so that when the next little thing jumps on your plate and says, you should do me, you will know that, no, I shouldn't be doing you. I need to be moving through this progressiveness of moving myself up the ladder properly. It will allow you to finally become the mentor, the leader, and the visionary that you are. That others need to know that this is your place on the planet. This system allows you to see the 360-degree view all at once. Because when you know your end game, and again, I've talked about it, when you can see all the steps and everything you need to know, not only do you know or start to be able to identify where you are located in that progression so that you know what your next step is. This is really what this webinar was about, is what is your next step? Well, your next step is among one of these 12 steps. And so, if your next step is step number 6, you're ready to do a product launch, great. Then let's jump you on step number 6 and get you there, if we're certain, though, that that's your next step, right? This system, the Message to Millions Mastery, allows you to identify, learn, and then execute and do the exact things that you need to achieve the outcome that I achieved. And that's the whole point of it. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now, if we take a look, at the 12 core steps that you need to master, okay? So each of these will have something at the top. Those are meant to go in those 12 steps. So if you take a look at step 1, craft your message, that is the very first step. So in this situation, I have done a 2-hour video training on everything you need to know to craft your message, and provided you with a step-by-step guide, workbooks, everything that you need to know, so that at the end of that, you have your statement, that thing you need to be saying to people. This isn't your tagline yet. This isn't your unique selling proposition per se yet. This is, what do you say to somebody when they ask you, what do you do? Because what they're really asking you is, what can you do for me? And most people get this wrong. When you get this wrong, your entire marketing foundation is built incorrectly. Okay? That's why it's important to, even if you are at the point where you're about to do a book launch, or you're about to perhaps do your own live event or something, you need to make sure that some of the prior elements are clearly defined, so that you don't lose that moment, or lose money or profit or clients or prospects or anything of that nature. This will quickly allow you to plug any holes that you may have in your process. The next element we look at is all about the branding. How do you become brand you? So the more you brand well, the less you need to sell. And that's what this is all about. So step 2 is being brand you. The next, of course, is the online success elements. This is the key, the crux, the foundation of everything, because in order to reach millions, you have to master this element right here. You have to understand, how do you put that landing page together? How do you list build? What do you say to these guys? How do you communicate? All of the elements are critical for the progression of you being able to make money while you sleep, and effectively take somebody from a prospect who has just come in your door to a client, and hopefully to a client as fast as possible. So this one is online success. The next, in that, of course, you're going to get everything you need for your marketing funnel: the templates, the step-by-step video instructions, free gift layout, thank you page, autoresponder, email templates, client site reviews, checklists, everything you need to know to master this site. And one of the bonuses I'm going to put in on this step, because it is so critical, is I will review your landing page. If this is something you're going to be building, I will review it for you when you're ready. Okay, and you'll see, actually, I've done reviews for other people. Watching those will also help you understand as well, before you even submit it to me for review, what you may need to already correct. All right. The next, of course, is the understanding social media. That's all the elements you need for LinkedIn, social media, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, all the things you need in deep depth understanding. There's over 60 videos in this element alone. There is a guide for every element. There's a check sheet, a cheat sheet, and a um, video, training video, that will help you truly understand, how does social media work for you, but more importantly, where should you, depending on who your target market is, be spending your time. Because if your target market isn't on Twitter or Facebook, then you shouldn't be spending your time there, because you're wasting that precious resource. Okay. And then, of course, Facebook Live, everything you need to know about Facebook Live, because regardless of where your audience is, this is going to be a key strategy for you moving forward. It is one of these game changers that is occurring right now. I give you everything you need to know about doing Facebook Live and leveraging this technology. I thoroughly go over, how do you sell something. In this strategy alone, I think the guide the guide that I've written you is over 60 pages, and it's step by step. It's here's what you do, here's what you say, here's how you say it, here's the strategy for selling a 10,000 up to $100,000 program from a phone call. Okay, so all of the things that I have done are in this, and of course the video training is there, the Q&A call is there, training is there. Everything that you need to know is sitting there for you on selling. Everything you need to know for book, service, and product launching, I have done them all, and I've done $1 million launches for telesummits. And so you're going to be getting all of that training knowledge that I have, what I actually do, plus the step-by-step guidebooks that I've created for all of this. Speaker and speaking. I think it's almost 90 pages that I've done on this because I have spoken in every capacity, from keynote, major keynote, to platform selling, which means you sell from the stage. I was and am a master seller from the stage. I've closed six figures in 90 minutes. And so I teach you everything about, if this is a direction you want to go, what should your presentation look like? What should your close look like? What do you need to be formatting or putting in your presentation to make it effective? What position do you want to speak if you're at a multi-speaker event? If your presentation is 20 minutes or it's 90 minutes, what do you do in those time frames? Because it's very different what you do. And I've experienced all of it. And so I put everything in there for you on how to become a master speaker. Getting on TV again, I've every ABC, NBC, CBS, CTV, Fox, every major network I have appeared on, and I have gotten my clients on, if that is a direction they wish to go, including one of my clients was on Dr. Oz, and then had her own TV show on PBS Broadcasting. Oh, here's and another example there of somebody who went the television route. And again, he does a full testimonial for me, but you can't hear that on a webinar. But to let you know that I have thousands of testimonials on the programs that I have developed over the last really 30 years of my career, but more importantly, the last 12, to where I've been 100% focused on online marketing and website and branding. Your $1 million design. This is how I created my entire company, was under this structure that you see right here. It makes life very simple. I've also added a funnel drop down strategy, and yeah, I've added a funnel drop down in another strategy as well. And those are the three core things now that I am operating my company on. And I go through that with you. I go through the pros and cons of each of these, the order that is best for you to follow to get the fastest way to the cash, and a breakdown of how do you do each and all of these, and how do you create content to rapidly move you through that progress. When you have finally gotten yourself to a stable point, you're making money, your products are making money, and things of that nature, I teach you how to then do outsourcing. I've been doing outsourcing since 1994. So, I mean, what is that now? Almost 94, can't even add. 20, was it almost 20 years or something like that? Because you remember, I come from the software industry. So we were employing programmers in Ukraine, in Russia, in India, in places like that, before outsourcing became what it is today, where you can go to 100 online sites and grab somebody to help you. Here's the thing that I've learned, though. Doing that in a way where you do not clearly communicate what you want them to do. You do not have a standard operating procedures in place. You don't have the step-by-step structure. You don't have anything. You're hoping that they know what they're doing when they come into your company leads to you spending a great deal of money and losing a lot of productivity because you're micromanaging to such a degree that you might as well honestly have done it yourself. And that doesn't become a control issue. It becomes an issue where you did not clearly communicate, educate, and get that staff ready to work within your company. And so I go through all of the elements of how do you effectively get other people to grow your business, because you can't just run your business with you once you get it stable. I mean, we have, 15 rotating staff. We've had people with us for over 10 years now, because we needed teams under us that handle just graphics, that handle websites, that handle social media, that handle all of these various elements for my company. And so I teach you how to do what I have done. I mean, in our company now, we're at a place where I have an entire system just for my employees, an online system that includes training, that includes the procedures of our company, that includes our policies, that includes things that they have to agree with in order to be a part of our company, all of these things. And so it's just a very big understanding of how do you staff up. Then, how do you do that magical live event? A live event can kill you or it can catapult you. And doing it the right way is very, very important. And what do I mean by it can kill you? You can spend a great deal of money and nobody's there, okay? Or you can spend a great deal of money, lots of people are there, everything's going in great, and you did not get the insurance that you need, okay? And something happens and you go bankrupt. So, and not to mention every moving element in between. How do you set up a 1 day? How do you set up a 2 day? How do you set up a 3 day? Where do you put the close? All of these elements to maximize. I have done it all of the events. I've done events from 3 hour to 3 day. And I've got the model for each on where do you place the close to get the most money. How do you put it? I traveled around the world doing 1 day live events, selling a $20,000 program and pulling six figures in under a day doing that. And so I talk about all of the steps that need to occur to make that magical moment happen for you. And then, of course, last but not least, traffic. Turning on the faucet. Everybody wants to get traffic first. The thing is, if your front of your funnel, your landing page is not converting, turning traffic on is a waste of time. And so I go through all of the various traffic elements and how you leverage each of those in full detail. Because the bottom line is your business is only as strong as your weakest link. So if your weak link is selling, well, this selling training that I give you in this system will change it all for you. And the beautiful part is it's very simple. I make things simple so that you're not over learning something or educating yourself to become a master, but you need to take 10,000 hours to do it. I boil it down to 2 hours and a lot of practice. And so that's the type of scenario, step-by-step structure that I've put in place on every single element. Then on top of this, I want to throw in a bonus with this system. Usually it goes for 1 year. Okay, usually you get membership for 1 year. I wanted to make it open-ended for you so that you didn't have to rush. So that if you are at step one crafting your message, you don't have to barrel through and expect to be on TV in your first year. It took me 4 years to get on television, only because I was building this system and strategy along at the same time. So that means no matter how you progress through these steps, You're going to have lifetime access to all of the materials, the trainings, all of it. And so that is going to be a game changer for you because you don't need to buy a lot of other things. You have this. It's going to be taking you through step by step everything that you need to know on various items in order for you to achieve a positive outcome on all of it. And the value of having lifetime access to this is priceless. I could have done one of two things. It made you do an annual renewal or made it into a membership site and charged you monthly. But to me, this was the best way to give you everything that you need. And no matter where you are in the process, you can jump right to what you need to be doing. It becomes an end-to-end business and life transformation. Through each of the 12 modules, you can move. If you're starting from scratch, you're going to start at module 1. If you have mastered some of these and you're confident about them, then you can move to one of the next stages and jump and get the material you need to immediately start to get booked as a speaker, to immediately start to get on TV, to leverage your book, create your $1 million design, to sell a high-end $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 system to get on TV to do traffic. All right. So each of these elements you are going to be getting access to. For the first 10, I love fast action takers. I want to get on a call with you. I want to see what are you doing now? What does everything that you have look like so I can advise you on where should you begin? What is your next step for you? And so that you have complete clarity on where you should be and where you should begin, so that you can optimize your time right now and jumpstart. So you get it all, everything you need. Message to Millions Mastery Training. It's $2,000. Okay, so $19.97. You're going to get your strategy with me, lifetime access, landing page review, and as you can see, the special or the promo that I'm doing is it's for $997. Lifetime access to every single thing that you need. And I'm going to show you actually a quick sample of one of them in a second. And for those of you that don't have this right now, you're just beginning, one of the things that I want is to give you split pay. So you can split it into 2 at 536 or into 3 at 382. All right. So really not a lot can get you started, can open the gates today. So, $382, if that's all you've got right now and you're going to do 2 more payments of that, you can get in right now and you can start educating yourself properly on whether it be social media mastery, product launching, selling. Let's say you already have a smoking hot product and it's valued at $2,000, but it's not going out the door. I tell you, you go and do the selling module and that's a changer. Okay, you will see how to flip the conversation in such a way that they will be begging for that $2,000 product. Okay. If you want to go grab this, it's at fastactionresults.com/offer. You don't have to do the upper lowercase there. I just do that so that you can easily see what the name is, fastactionresults.com/offer. All right, so that's where that is. If you would like, I have an event coming up November 10th to the 12th, Hollywood, California. I'll throw in a free ticket for that as well. I don't know if I'm doing this again, which is why hey, if you're in the area, you want to come, I'll give you a free ticket. It's 3 full days of training. I'm going through all of those elements, okay? Day 1, we break down all the branding elements. Day 2, we go through all of the income elements. And day 3, we pound through all the traffic, PR, media, how to get yourself out there, reach millions. And so November 10th to the 12th, you will get a free ticket to that as well. If that's something you would like to partake in. I know it's tight, which is why I'm not making a big deal out of this. But hey, if you live locally, it's a game changer. It is life changing. Not one person has left that hasn't said that was life changing. In fact, Susie, if you're still out there, I might pop out to you to talk about Business Online Mastery, but to also talk about this program. I'm going to just pause here for 2 seconds, and I'm going to see if Susie Nelson is out there since I saw her earlier. Susie, are you there? I've unmuted you. Can you hear me? She didn't know I was going to do this. I do this stuff like this all the time, so okay. Um, Dave, if you can get me Susie, that would be great. And I'm just going to go on and continue. Let
I'm
me.
here.
Oh, there you are. Hey, awesome. Sorry about that. I know, honestly, I didn't even think about it till a few minutes ago. And had I said, hey, Susie, since you're going to be on, would you mind speaking a few minutes? You probably would have been more ready. um, I want you to talk about I know you're in the mastermind program. But you have been on the mastery as well. You have had access to all these materials. Tell people what it's like, what that system is like.
Well, I actually have so much value for it that I had put minute by minute time management is what I called it. And I put it in a huge book, and each month I printed out each module,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took value in the wisdom that Tracy has and took as many notes as I could so I'd be prepared in advance to write down the information that she would give, and everything is so valuable. I mean, I'm already been on this program, but I still want to listen to it every time I get a nugget, lots of nuggets in everything that you say and that you do. So to me, it's been priceless, and there isn't any one thing you think that you've got it for a second, and then it's like, well, no, I'm not really as branded as I thought I was, or my website really isn't the way that I thought it would be. And that one-on-one time with you is so incredibly valuable. And, being an event planner, I know that a lot of people respect what I do. So I cannot say enough if everything that you've gone through with the branding, the message to the millions. I mean, from step one to step two, I still thank God I met you, and that it was just a chance, here in Denver we got to get to know each other a little bit more. So if people knew your brain first and then get to know you as a person, they know that you're true inside and out to who you are. And just even starting with create your message, I just could go on all day long. I'm sorry, I had no clue I'd be on, but it comes from the heart.
Well, thank you. Thanks for that. And again, the value of this program, obviously, I mean, at, I've had a lot of people say that at $1,000, they'd pay that per module once they've been through each of these modules. I'm just going to throw in a ticket. I don't know if I'm doing this again, which is why I'm being overly cautious and not saying it's this big bonus, even though it is. Talk about business online mastery in 3 days. You have been to it multiple times. You've probably owned the Message to Millions system probably 3 years now. And again, that talks to the fact that you probably still go back and refer to it, even though it's 3 years later that you originally purchased this thing.
Actually, it's only 2 years,
Oh,
and
2 years.
I wish it was 4 years. Um, but I will. I'm just sick that I can't be there. I've done everything I could. I have an engagement in Florida, or I'd be there. Still, it's just the logistics of getting from one coast to the other and
Mm-hmm.
combining it. Um, I remember just even last year sitting there and again having everything ready in my book and just seriously not missing anything. I wouldn't go to the restroom until it was restroom time because everything you say has value. And it's almost like the first year I wish that just being able to do it again, you want to just like not ever leave. You just can't get enough of you, Tracy, to be honest with you. Your wisdom and what you're doing, and this is what everybody wants, is to market their company and brand themselves and have the right message and deliver it the right way. And I've been around the block and with many people, and you just have that very precise, clear way of saying it, and then helping people develop it and bring it out. So again, I'm put on the spot, but that comes from the heart.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susie, for taking a couple of minutes out. I can't thank you enough, too, for being in my community. I appreciate always your feedback, your referrals, and your constant participation. You're just like, you're somebody that always shows up and always does the work, and that's why you're amazing. So thank you. Oops, sorry, I muted the wrong person. I muted me instead. Um, okay, so I just saw a couple questions in the chat box, which I want to get to before I continue. Okay. Um, uh, One of the questions was, where is the prior trainings? Okay, so I'll tell you in 2 minutes kind of where all the prior trainings are. They're not sitting over on YouTube. That's why you can't find them. Okay. So they're sitting in one beautiful location for you, and I'm going to show you that in 2 minutes. For example, let's see, fastactionresults.com/offer. Let me see where that is going right now, because this might help give you. Yeah, see, I see Dave. Um, I'm going to make sure it should not be going to that. So, guys, if it goes to that.
I'll get it for you, Trace.
Here's what it should be going
Just
first. Okay,
buffers.
good. Sorry, it's probably in my buffer, which is why
Yeah.
it's probably in my buffer, which is why that came up, because that was for. Here is where the fastactionresults.com/offer goes. Okay, so you will notice it goes here. One of the questions was, where is the Facebook Live training? It's here. If you go to fastactionresults.com/offer right now, it will take you to this. This is where we are. You can see content creation machine. You can see video 2. That's the landing page. And video 1 was all about the Facebook Live training. Okay. So let me just quickly take you through there. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, great. Okay, so Facebook Live. Video 2, more leads now. Video 3 was, to me, one of the best webinars I have ever done. Okay. And you'll notice we are right here on that. Okay. So let me just finish now, and because I have one more thing to show you. And this is a brand spanking new. Susie doesn't know about it. Nobody knows about it. My business partner barely knows about it, because I just decided, when somebody constantly keeps telling you the same thing over and over again, I wish you had this, I wish you had this, I wish you had this. I have finally listened. Okay. And why did it take me so long to listen? Because quite frankly, it's going to be very hard for me to do. It's a lot of work for me to do what I'm about to do. But here's the thing. If you guys really need it, and this is truly what's going to get you to the next level, I am about to help deliver that. Okay, so there's the one offer I'm talking about. Go right ahead, fastactionresults.com/offer. Be amongst the first 10 that buy, and you're going to get a one-on-one call with me. I'm going to review what you have. I'm going to help you decide where you need to begin in the system, what you need to be doing, what you need to apply, and what's your end game. All right. What I'm about to talk about here, though, is you guys are the very first audience to hear it. My VIPs, nobody's heard it yet because I just came up with it. So that system, the system that I just showed you, it's going to help you make money while you sleep and play. And you will break away from the pack. I can guarantee you will break away from the pack. But there was one other thing I wanted to do, and this is a VIP experience. Whole different offer, guys. This is for those of you who need the guidance, need the hand-by-hand guidance. And I've never given that. I even build it all for you. I have programs where I build it all for you. But this is a different thing. This is for those of you who are ready to go to the next level. And it's called a VIP experience. I have never before offered it, ever. All right. Only 13 people are going to be accepted per year to this program. Before you get afraid, to me, it's a bargain. I'm hoping you see it as that as well, simply because I know what I charge. Okay, I charge $1,000 per hour for my time. Many people have paid it. Susie's paid it. I charge $5,000 for a day of my time, and to corporations when I go in, and I charge $5,000 a month on retainer to have people be able to ask me questions. So to have CEOs and corporations and those types of people be able to ask me questions when they want and have me review something, I charge $5,000 a month. But here's what I came up with for you. It's called Quantum Leap Business, okay? You're going to get a one-on-one call with me. It's recorded. It's the Oprah call. I'm going to assess everything you got. We're going to take a look at your end game. We're going to create the blueprint to get you there. And then we're going to spend the next 90 days together getting you there. All right? We're going to go as fast as we can to achieve a goal at a time. You're going to get, it's a 90-day program, 3 months with me. You're going to get 2 calls with me a month. All right. So we're going to set up a strategy. You're going to work through it. We're going to have a call. We're going to review the strategy. We're going to set the next strategy. You're going to do it. We're going to review it. You're going to have a call. It's going to continue like that. 90 days is a key point to change a habit and to change results. It generally takes 90 days for that to occur, which is why this is a 90-day program. All right. You're also going to get up to 6 10-minute now calls. That means that you can, text me. You're going to get my private cell number. You can text me and you can say, I've got something I need to talk to you about. When can I have a 10-minute call? And I will usually, or if I'm not in the middle of something like this, I can say you can have it now. Or in the case if I'm doing a webinar like I am right now, I would say, I'll be done at noon, and give me, I'll call you as soon as I'm off the call. All right. You will have email and text quick support. That means you can text me and say, quick question, blah, and I will reply. Okay. This is so that you will never get stopped. Your time management will be incredibly efficient, and you will be 100% laser focused on every single goal, because that's my goal with you. All right. You're going to get, the system that I just showed you, you're also going to get lifetime access to that, all 12 master modules, because in many cases, I may need to say, I need you to implement the reverse funnel strategy of the selling system. So now you're going to have to go take a look at what that is, then run it by me and say, is this what you mean? Is this the 3 programs I should sell? Is this the pricing I should do? I will then do all of that with you, okay? Your lifetime access to the science of social media, lifetime access to internet success mastery. These are all my core systems, all right? And then I have about 60 other training modules. For the 90 days that we're together, I may say, go and watch this, and then you go watch that one specific thing. And then that will be it. That will leave after the 90 days. And you will get my personal Rolodex for resources, connections, and service providers. Everything that I use, do, whatever, I will open my doors for you. Okay. It's a $23,000 value. Here's the really cool part. We're going to lock in the pricing, which means the pricing that you pay is the pricing that if you wish to continue with me, you will continue to pay. All right. You, of those of you who jump on this opportunity, you will be the very first people through this. I've got everything already structured and in place, but you're going to be the first ones to actually go through it. So it's going to be a very fun and interesting journey. And obviously, I have dragged my feet on this because it's a lot of work for me. I am now taking you under my wings, and I'm going to be holding your hands for 90 days. Okay? So this is the price. It's $5,000 for 90 days. It's not $5,000 for the day, which I normally am. It's not even $5,000 to have access to me on a query basis, which I normally am, for the month. You're going to get 3 months with me for $5,000. Me, you, let's do this. All right. In order to get this opportunity, you go to quantumleapbusiness.com/offer. Okay. And here's the really cool thing. Cool for you. I'm not sure. Cool for me. I'm only accepting 13, and that's not 13 today, that's 13, period. I'm only going to be dealing with 13 people in my life. That's where I'm getting it to right now. For those of you um, who have seen or being involved with me lately, I'm at a whole different phase in my business right now in that I'm about to go take care of my parents. And so because of that, I am going to get 13 people in my life and I'm going to carry your businesses under my wing and I'm going to get you where you need to go. I've been there. I've done it. I got the t-shirt, the plaque, the award, that every little kitschy thing you need to to proven that I have already accomplished it all. So I'm going to take 13 people under my wings and $5,000, 90 days, lock-in pricing. And so what does that mean? That means when I go up in January, which I 100% intend to, because remember, this is my first round of people. When my prices raise, so anybody new getting added on as of January 1st, they're going to be paying $8,500. Okay. And then every quarter, I'm going to raise my pricing. Okay, so another quarter down the road, I could be $10,000 for 90 days, $15,000 for 90 days. And so it's going to continue to raise. But if you jump on at 5,000, you stay at that rate for 90 days, for 3 months of me. So that's the other one I'm going to throw out there. It's for very specific, unique people that are ready to rock and roll. You have all these pieces in place, and for some reason, it's not gelling. You're not making the money you should be. You're not appearing where you are. You're not respected the way you are. All of those elements that are keeping you back, we're going to pull the linchpin on them, and we're going to get you over the barriers and through, and whatever it's going to take. I have the resources and the know-how, the expertise to help you in almost any single matter because I've experienced it. I've worked with governments, nonprofits, large corporations, lottery corporation, major companies, all the way down to I've got an idea. The person that says, I've got an idea. If you're a person that says, I've got an idea, this is probably one of the most amazing places you could ever start. Because why set that idea in motion and struggle for the next 4 years where time is the only resource that you cannot get back? And that's it. So I'm changing my life. 13 people are going to be a part of it. That's the direction we're going. And almost the remainder of my stuff will be product based. There we are. Here is for those of you, you can watch this again because it'll be up here for a few minutes. But for those of you who were following along with the form, there's all the answers to help you fill it out. The last one, success is easier when you're connected to a mentor, mastermind, those type of answers. Okay. I have always had a mentor or been a part of a major mastermind, not a freebie mastermind, but a $50,000 to $100,000 a year mastermind. They're the game changers. If you want to know how successful people continue to get successful, they do actions that are game changes. They take risks that are terrifying. Like I say, I'm on the edge of terrify all the time, but it's a comfort zone. It has become a state of uncomfortable comfortableness. Where I am now, I'm a calm, peaceful person that just goes with the flow in a way that I know it will work out. Because I believe in me, I believe in my message, and I hope that you do too. And that's one of the secrets is if you believe in yourself enough, it will happen, period. And if you bring somebody on board in your life that believes in you just as much, man, you've got yourself a powerful relationship there. And that person, like myself, would be so invested in you becoming successful. And that, you know, not only are you doing whatever it will take, I will do whatever it takes. Okay? For those who wanted the free gift, fastactionresults.com, go grab that. How your brand, websites, and social media work together if this is a guide that you do not have. If you have any questions at all right now, you're wondering, is this program for you? Which one should I do? Should I jump in at the mastery, or should I go all in at the 90-day? Call us right now. Dave's sitting there, 818-859-7210. You can talk to him. He has all the answers. I have the answers. Once I get off the call, I'm happy to talk to you as well. If you wish to submit a support ticket, you've bought the system and you did not get the access immediately that you thought you would, go to maestro-support.com or give us a call, whichever way you need to or want to deal with us. So that's all she wrote. I'm just going to, for those of you who are still here and interested, I'm going to take a few minutes and just pop out and show you. Let's get out of there. I wanted to show you one of the modules in the system. So here's an example of speaker and speaking. You'll put your password in, you'll watch this module for all of the training. You will download the lesson notes. You can look at other Q&A calls, okay? Here's all the modules sitting here. And so you're like, oh my God, I got an event coming up. I should really go look right now at what is happening for the events. What kind of notes do I need to know? That type of thing. What should I check out? That type of thing. It's all going to be here. So 40 pages on that. If we take a look, like I said, here's the master area that you come into. Here's the library right there. Tells you in some detail what you need to know and what the information is. I wanted to take a look at, oh yeah, here's modules, the one I was talking about for speaker and speaking, 61 pages of step-by-step instructions for everything that I've done. Every module starts with an ACT element. So that means A stands for action, C stands for check it out, and T stands for tag. So each month you'll go ACT, and then you'll say, I need to take action on this right now. C is check it out. So check it out might be, oh, here's an insurance company she recommends. It's going to only cost me whatever, $80 to have my event insured for $1 million. I'm going to go check them out. And then T is for tag later. A tag later option would be, I've never been a keynote yet, but here is a place where I could list myself to be a keynote speaker or something like that. And so you tag it for later because you need to focus right now on all your A items, all the action items to get to the fastest way to the cash, right? We want to make it. I want to make it so that you are earning at least that amount of money during your time with me so that you can continue with me, so that I can move you forward at a pace that you've never experienced. My branding goes around Quantum Leap because I went from writing a book from ground zero to 58 days later, the book was written, it launched to #1 on Amazon, to within 3 months I'd made $100,000, to within 4 months I'd won World Internet, what do you call it, Internet Marketer of the Year, to 6 months later I'm on their stages going around the world. That's how fast I propelled. And that's the speed I want you to move. So I can tell you now, you can move at that speed. The speed that you're moving at is hindered currently with unseen barriers that you will not be able to detect because that's the nature of the game. I had mentors that helped me detect whether it's unseen barrier, detect my flaw in a knowledge, or to get me knowledge that I needed to move to the next step constantly. I spent over $100,000 on speaker training alone. And the speaker training that I'm giving you here is what I've learned, is everything that I spent that 100 grand on, I put in here for you. And things of that nature. So it goes to kind of that type of power and simplicity where I give you everything that you need to know in a very concise and easy manner. And more importantly, if you're one of the 13 that wish to spend some time with me in a one-on-one manner for the the Quantum Leap program there. I'm so excited. And if you have any questions, come right now and ask us. So that was Quantum Leap. Let's pull that back up and get that link for you. quantumleapbusiness.com/offer. So it looks like this, quantumleapbusiness.com/offer. And then I'm going to go to the question box too. If you have questions down there, I'm going to find them. There it is right there. You just click on I want a spot and in you go. Okay. And there's the details. It's pretty simple. You and me. And again, one of the questions was, how do I get the Facebook Live broadcast? You go to Quantum Leap. Oops. Quantum Leap Business. Oh, I'm caught on. Okay. And you will see, oops, we'll get that fixed. I've got stuff in a loop here, I can tell. I got to keep going to incognito. QuantumLeapBusiness.com. Okay, and then video 1, Facebook, video 2, more leads now, video 3, content creation machine. Watch these, they're off the hook, all of them. And then the one we're doing today is going to go right here. Okay, and so this is just going to sit here as a system. When those 13 spots fill, that's that. Awesome. Oh, yay, Brenda's ready for big game. Awesome. Oh, awesome. Way to go, Brenda. So Brenda's got the M to M. Looking forward to it. Excellent. The phone number is 818, and I'm going to put it in the thing here, 859-7210. I'm going to send that to all of you. Tracy, if you have any questions. And great. Any problems getting in, Brenda, just let us know. Awesome. Okay, just quickly going through and watching for any last minute questions before I do a wrap on this. Okay, cool. Cheryl. She asked, does a TV show on the internet equate with Fox or ABC? No, they do not. It's a whole different strategy. I did Fox and ABC to get the celebrity status. Now I do the online TV show, Facebook Live, those types of strategies to get my clients. Okay, so different strategy, both awesome. Am I the courageous mom of a special son? It's interesting. It would be, what are you selling to go with that? Oh, good, Johnny. Yes, Susie got it. I'm just going back through everything, guys. And if you have new questions, just post them right now as I do my final look through. Awesome. That's it. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today. It's been my pleasure to serve you over this journey type of thing that we have just kind of gone on. It's been quite a blast. And I look forward to our continued journey together. Again, I should have done I probably meant to do that here. I'm just going to grab something for you quickly and leave it on the screen for you. QuantumLeapBusiness.com is for this program here. That's the I'm only taking 13 people a year. This program right here. And the message to millions, I will grab this for you so that you know where to go for each of those offers, depending on which one is speaking with you. If you don't know, which you should do, you're a little kind of confused, wondering should you go all in, or are you really just at the look stage right now, or the learn stage, whatever you want to call it. Do you feel like you're far enough? Maybe not. Get on a call. Let us answer that for you, okay? Because we're not going to tell you to do something that isn't right, simply because I don't need to do that, okay? I haven't announced this. You guys are the first to receive this. I will get 13 people in, and that will be that. So I don't have any problems or qualms or questions that this will fill. And if you're one of the people that should be in it, by all means, let's get you in it. Okay. And if you're not, go and do this one right here. Because you will at least get the true core knowledge that you need to get to where you need to go, okay, without all of the floundering. All right, I'm just going to pull that there so you guys know. And let's see. Here we go. And put that there. There's my last slide I'm going to leave you with. Built it while we were on. Okay, so, well, let's see. It's, oh, man. So again, thank you so much for all of you who are still sticking around. And I really appreciate all the time and effort that you have put into this journey. And I applaud and commend you for the time and effort you put in your own journey. Because I know, as somebody who's been in business for 31 years, it's hard. There is no easy track, but there's a smart track, and there's an easier track. And there is a way to automate and to make money so that you can do what I'm about to do, which is go and help take care of my parents. And it's a pleasure to be able to have created the business that I did to do that. But I'll tell you, it all came with design. I knew this was coming. Okay, when I had kids, I knew they were coming, and I built my business model around them. And I want you to have the same abilities and freedoms to do that. So again, have a great week. Please call us if you have any questions. I definitely want to hear from you. I don't want you to wonder if you should do something. Just ask, okay? And I just heard the phone go, so I'm just going to move this up and put that there, and we are good to go. Again, thank you so much, and I will hopefully be hearing from you or seeing you soon, one of the two.